Hi, I'm Nicole, and I want to talk about astral traveling. I have been asked to share my experiences, and they have been literally out of this world. Astral traveling is when your spirit soars beyond this human existence, beyond the world that we live in this earthly physical plane. So when you astral travel, you have a sense of not being grounded. You are no longer physically attached to your body, if you will. One of the first times that I ever astral traveled was in college, and my roommate was someone that didn't believe in God, and immediately I began to receive psychic attack. Spiritual warfare had begun. And so when I began to travel, it wasn't because I purposely did it. It wasn't purposeful at all. There were times that, for instance, one time I was so exhausted because when you travel, you are depleted. Your body is housing your spirit, right? All times. That's what makes us alive, is our breath, which is our energy, which is our power, and our spirit is our connection with divine source. Okay? So when we travel, we are taking our body through an experience that our body is not meant for. Our body is not made for spiritual travel. So when we come back to our body will have gone through this transition and this experience that our body is not equipped for. It's not made for. But our spirit is. So this one time that I traveled, I was in the middle of spiritual warfare in a very serious life or death attack. I awakened to my spiritual ascension at that moment, having traveled through what the best way I could describe how it looked was that I was being thrusted through levels of the universe, levels of light, rays of light, through darkness, and different things were grabbing at me, were touching me, were reaching out to touch me. And I don't really know if they were trying to stop me or help me at that point. I just know that there were different things that I associate with my human side as hands. Some of the hands looked like very long, branchy hands. Very rigid, very dried up, dead. And when I arrived at the location I was at, I remember coming through these light years, coming through these rays, and boom, I was in my room, my dorm room, and I was looking directly down at my body. Looking directly down at my body, who was lying on my bed. And I remember thinking at that moment, what? Two of my friends walked through the door. And I remember that very, very, very clearly, that all this happened like that. And I remembered being like, the appearance of the room was, if you remember a Christmas story out there, Scrooge, when he travels with these three spirits who take him to the past, the present, and the future, and all of a sudden he's just in the future. That is how I was. All of a sudden I was in my dorm room looking down at myself from the corner of the room. And it was the corner of the room that was on the same side of my bed, lying down. So I'm looking at myself, and in walks two of my friends. They see the roommate that I had. She's sitting on her bed looking at me. Then they look at me. When they first come in, they couldn't really see me because the bathroom and my desk was there. So they immediately saw her and asked, hey, where's Jennifer? That's my first name. That's my name is Jennifer Necole. So please call me Necole because that's family. That's family. So, where's Jennifer? And she said, she's right there. And smiled. And they said, oh, well, tell her to come see us when she wakes up, or call them when she wakes up. Dear loves, this evil thing knew the experience I was having, looked up at me, and immediately I was like, no, Octavia, Latoya, I'm right here. They couldn't hear me. They couldn't hear me, and I was not moving. They walked out of the dorm room, and I remember descending. Immediately fell. Immediately fell. And when I woke up, I remember falling down a tunnel. It was just a tunnel. I don't remember there being light. I just remember the speed. I had just began a tremendously fast, intense fall. And I remember while I was falling that, am I gonna land on something? And I hit. Boom! I hit a bottom. And I woke up. I was in my body. I had jumped off the bed. My body had literally raised up. When I came back down on my bed, my whole body was in pain. When I looked over at that thing, she was smiling at me. That's the first out-of-body experience that I remember having in totality. That out-of-body experience was astral traveling. I didn't intend to do it. I was projected into it, brought into it through spiritual warfare. So, Not every experience is something that you're going to purposely engage. Okay? Another time, another time was, and I want to tell you that my body was completely drained, okay, lethargic. But here's the thing, because I was going through tremendous battle on a spiritual level, that weakened state that it was putting my body through was progressing. So that's why I was laying on the bed, because I had no strength at that point. I mean, I was literally in life or death mode, survival for my soul. Okay? And I'll tell you real quickly, because I went into that type of astral traveling, of out-of-body experience, that the spirit guides in my family, this is generational for us, although I do truly feel everybody is spiritually gifted, went into extreme warrior mode. And my job was to ask this thing if she believed in God. And she didn't. I did ask, and she said no and laughed at me. And that was the end of that. That was when I made a beeline to the registrar's office, got a room assignment change, broke ties, and only went across the hall, directly across the hall in LaToya's room, because she had a single room, and they had been feeling that thing's energy too. And we were only 18, at the time. And so everything stopped. So the most recent time that I astral traveled was on purpose. And again, the same reaction of my body just feeling drained. But this is why I did it. The last time I did it was a couple of weeks ago. It was right before my laptop crashed. Excuse me. And I remember feeling like something's coming down. Something is happening. And I took the time to, sitting right here, and I took the time to really honor that energy. And I said, Divine Source, whatever it is, please allow me to see it. Please allow me to see the unseen. And I felt Archangel Raziel cover me. Cover me. I felt Archangel Raziel come up behind me and cover me. Okay? And if you're not familiar with Archangel Raziel is our spiritual alchemist and the magician. And I've always asked him to help me through astral traveling and seeing the unseen and inviting him, because he came to me to begin with to help me. That's how I knew who he was. And I say he in our human limitation with gender. Our angels, the spirit realm, is genderless. And so I recognized Archangel Raziel very early on in my life. And I had to research him out. I had to seek him out, because he let me know, I'm here for you. And I'm like, who's here for me, Anyway, this time, I knew it was big. Now, I had been praying for a deepening of my spiritual sight for quite a while. For the last few months, I've been praying for it because I have felt an ascension happening for me. And I have learned not to ignore that. And as a master spirit guide, there is a part of me that goes through this of fear. And it's that quick. And I'm very thankful for that, because learning to let go, release, surrender is something that you will learn to appreciate. And the cornerstone of you keeping your inner peace and hovering in your elevation, your spiritual ascension, hovering, just staying in this hovering mode. And so I remember saying, okay, please protect me. Please protect my spirit. Please protect my family, their spirits. Please keep us safe, and please bring me back unharmed and untouched. So this was very purposeful. And this is because I knew from many different signs, I knew that there was something trying to communicate with me, and that I was okay to welcome it. There's a difference when you know it's not an okay energy. Don't welcome it. Okay? Pray against it. And double up on your protection, your spiritual protection, your armor. So I sat here and my hands were like this, like cupped. I hope you can see it, like cupped. And this is a common pose that you see many monks, and I don't know the technical term. I just remember seeing it, and it felt so good to my soul that I began doing it. And you just have your hands in your lap. And for me, it's openness. It's just being aware that Spirit is about to gift you with spiritual sight at the highest level of your ascension. And so I remember Archangel Raziel saying, "Are you ready?" And I remember him taking my hands, and I remember going like this. Now mind you, I'm like this. And I'm breathing in my power. And about that, your power is your breath. Your power is your strength. So what I was doing was gaining my strength. And I will always encourage you to recognize your breath in the hue, the color, the illumination that Spirit allows you to recognize it in, because it speaks to each of your chakras, not only the 7 primary chakras that radiate up and down your spine, but every chakra in your body. So what I began to see was, we took off into the universe. All I could see was the galaxy and a tremendous just red, which quickly went to orange. And these were beautiful orbs of energy. And they began coming at me. And this is common. This is what is common for me when I'm activating my spiritual sight and when I'm recognizing what Spirit is allowing me to channel. Premonitions, psychic, insight. So this is common for me. And I began to see these orbs come at me. And we're over here. Archangel Raziel and I are over here. And I'm seeing them come. And we're traveling forward. And the orbs begin to change from, remember that beautiful red, my root chakra, to that burnt orange, very quickly, my sacral chakra. And it stayed there for a while. And I remember asking Archangel Raziel, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. And I was reassured that I was safe. And not once did I want to open my eyes. Not once did I want to escape from traveling into the spirit realm and projecting into another dimension. Not once did my eyelids want to open. And before I can't tell you a time frame, before I knew it, the orbs began to become illumined with yellow. My solar plexus quickly to green, very, very quickly, and immediately to purple, my third eye, my spiritual sight. The orbs began to go this way. Okay? And then began to change from orange to purple, orange to purple. My feelings, my emotions to my spiritual sight. What I saw was still something that I don't know outside of understanding on a very heightened awareness now that we are undoubtedly not the only beings in this universe. Where we traveled to was all of a sudden we stopped. And I knew that I was waiting, and so we just were floating there, just hovering. And all of a sudden, like it was a procession of spiritual beings that I had never, ever, ever recognized before, that I have never seen through my spiritual sight before. And here's the thing. They were very, very welcoming, very, very gentle, and they did not touch me. Archangel Raziel still had my hand, never let me go, not for a second, not even timeless. So just never let me go. And I felt very comfortable. And I felt as if I were being honored. I felt like I was walking down the aisle. And through each motion, because it wasn't a step, we were just gliding very slowly. It was like light illumined who was on either side of me. Like, I don't know if you can see me. I go like this. Like on each side of me, the more that I traveled this way, light, it's like they showed up And I never looked behind me. There was never that view. And I remember not looking directly at them. I was forward. My sight was forward. But I remember seeing all of them on my side. And each one was different. It was a different being. So, do I know where I traveled? No. Do I know who they were? No. But I just heard, we see you, Necole. We love you. We are your people. Okay, I just heard that. And I just heard, we summoned you. We are near you. We claim you. Now, as a channel, I know what I just said, and I receive it, and I still don't know what dimension they're from, and I'm gonna say I'm from. When you travel, I can't even go there. I'm just still on what I just received. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just saw an orb of light. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it just went straight up like that. I hope you saw it. Oh, I pray that you saw it. They're here. They're so here. What I'm feeling is on my thighs. It's radiating up my thighs and my ears, and that is my spiritual sight. And the back of me. And my spiritual sight is just, they're made of light. And I feel like they're a council. I just heard consortium. Consortium. A board. Elect. And they're not like any beings that I've ever seen before. But they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. They're light. And they radiate that light. Well, let me bring this back. Thank you so much. So, dear loves, I remember when it was time to come back. I believe the lights stopped. There was no more, there was nowhere else to go. There was no more. We were at the end of that pathway. And I remember that it was just time to come back. And I don't remember if Archangel Raphael said it or not. But I remember, I remember saying that I'm ready. I'm ready. And I thanked Archangel Raphael for helping me with that. experience and helping me see. And I thanked Divine Source. And I thanked them. I thanked the consortium, the council. And when I came back, we began to travel back, and the orbs were purple coming at me, and they changed direction and went this way, and we followed that direction, and it went back to, I don't think it went back to green, but I remember it going back to orange. And it was time for me to open my eyes. And I opened my eyes, and my hands were still like this. And I was exhausted. And I felt just reborn. I felt like just reborn, rejuvenated. But I was so exhausted. And I recognized that exhaustion from traveling and out-of-body experiences. So you never know when the spirit realm is going to reach out to you. I just believe that you have to be prepared for when the spirit realm wants to communicate with you, and it's a beautiful thing. So, I hope that that helps someone. Namaste. Many blessings in your journey in astral traveling and out-of-body experiences. I'll see you soon.